He leads us all the way, playing proper football, the Sheff United way. Ale, 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 ale.
Oh, Blades. Oh, God, what a win. What a feeling. How good is that tonight from Bramall Lane? So, welcome, everybody. This is, of course, the Sheff United Way match reaction. And this is reacting to a quite unbelievable 1-0 win against Sunderland in a bizarre and brilliant and exciting game at Bramall Lane. And as you can probably tell, I've enjoyed myself. I've enjoyed winning that. I'll be honest, I've spent all week in bed because I've been really ill. I've been knocked off my feet with flu. I've got ear infections in both ears. I have spent it not able to stand up. I've been crying a bit, and it's all worth it to have gone out there, gone to Bramall Lane and seen that victory, because what a win that was. I mean, I don't think you can ask for more tension in a game of football than we've seen tonight. And you know, I don't think United were at their best. I don't think this is our best performance of the season. I don't think necessarily even on the night we deserved the 3 points. But the desire, the defending, I cannot believe how good our defence is. You know, you think back to last season and everything that we went through with the defending and the goals conceded. And this season, they are just immense. Like, I just can't find another way of describing them. They're colossuses, every one of them. Whoever plays, whichever 4 we put together, they just are incredible. And the man behind them, Michael Cooper, I'm in love. It's taken me 2-3 months. I mean, I think I fell in love with him immediately, but I'm more in love with him now than ever before. What a performance tonight. That save from the penalty is a huge moment, not just in the game, but in the season, because we were really under the cosh. I thought Sunderland, they were a really good side, if I'm being honest. I think they're the best we've played, certainly at Bramall Lane so far this season. I thought they played at a great tempo. I thought they caused us problems all over the pitch. Their press and their defensive organisation was outstanding in the way that they forced us into alleyways that we didn't want to go down, meant they were winning the ball back high. They were causing us a lot of problems. They'll leave really disappointed to have lost that game. And that penalty save is one of the main reasons why they have, because it's just outstanding. And he just doesn't want to concede. He just refuses to concede any goals at Bramall Lane. It's like he's cast some kind of voodoo spell over the goals at Bramall Lane to make sure that nobody can get past him. And I am here for it. I love it. Do all the black magic, Michael, and keep that ball out of our net. Now, before we get into all the details of the game and we get carried away with what actually happened, I do want to do a massive shout out for Femi Seriki. I thought the impact he had coming on was outstanding. I thought he was fantastic because what he brings is an energy, he brings excitement, he brings pace into this team. Every time he got the ball, he was trying to drive us forward. He was committing Sunderland defenders, getting around them and having so much luck down that right-hand side. I wish we could get a better final product out of him. I wish his final ball was a little bit better, but it's just so noticeable when he's on the pitch, when he's driving us forward, and he's determined always to try and make something happen for United. It's something we don't have when he doesn't play. And I think he's made a fantastic case, you know, with the suspensions we've got now, with the players who are missing, he's made a fantastic case to be starting on Sunday against West Bromwich Albion next week. And it's just fantastic to see an academy lad coming in and having that kind of impact, because I didn't see it at the start of the season. I thought he was where we were maybe going to have a weak link, and he has proven me so wrong. He's been outstanding. And I wanted to say that front and centre because I loved him and I thought he was great tonight. So let's get into the game and what actually happened at Bramall Lane this evening. Well, the team news going in, I think, was pretty much exactly what we expected. I think most people went 11 for 11 if they were trying to predict what kind of team United were going to put out today. And we started okay. I thought for the first 10 minutes we were quite bright. I thought we were settling into a pattern of what the game was going to look like. United had a lot of possession. We were having it mainly through our defence, but we were finding our lines, trying to push them back a little bit. They were sat very deep. They were waiting to try and hit us on the counter. And I thought that was almost what the routine was going to be. I thought we were going to have 90 minutes of that kind of ebb and flow. It was going to be relatively predictable, relatively straightforward. It was going to be the kind of game that United have seen a lot at Bramall Lane this season, and I could not have been more wrong. I look a fool for ever thinking that this was going to be straightforward and settle into a rhythm. There was no rhythm to this game. There was just chaos happening everywhere. I thought for the majority of the first half, particularly when it was 11v11. Sunderland were probably the dominant force in the game. They'd forced us back. They meant that we couldn't find our passes coming out. They pressed us high and then sat really deep when we managed to get through that first line, which meant that they stifled us at every way that we were trying to create and work through their lineup. And so they did a really good job. I thought Watson on the left wing was causing us all kinds of problems. If they could just stop diving, they would have been a lovely team to watch. I think I could have enjoyed watching them play football if every time someone breathed on them, they didn't just go, "Oh, I'm down, ref." But, that's football and we have to get used to it. We have to play against them. I thought Bellingham deserved a shout out. He's obviously the buzz player and is the one that people think about, but I thought he was outstanding. I thought he found the space between Sousa and Peck in a really impressive way. I think the way that him and Chris Rigg, they seem to swap and alternate positions. And so neither Sousa or Peck knew when to commit. They didn't know when to make sure they were with the man or when to sit off to give him a little bit of space. And that really caused us a lot of problems. It meant they were finding so much space between the lines that we couldn't find when we were trying to attack them. And so, yeah, they'd really got us penned in. I thought they'd started really well. It was really feeling ominous to me. I thought it was a game we were going to lose. I thought we were playing against a team who really looked to step above the others that we've played in this division so far. And then the penalty happens, and I've only seen this once in the ground, so I can't comment. I've seen some suggestions it might have been outside the box. But for me, from where I was, it looked a nailed-on penalty, to be honest. It was a really quick break that they made through the middle of the park. It was the lad on the wing, Watson, who managed to get free and really get in behind our defence. Robinson was trying to get back and cover, commits himself, as we've seen him do so many times, win that big tackle and get a roar from the crowd. But he got this one all wrong. He didn't get the ball, did take out the man. And, okay, this is the moment. We're going to concede. For the first time in God knows how long, we're going to concede a goal at Bramall Lane. Nah. No, we're not, because Michael Cooper is in our net, dives down to his left, makes a fantastic save, pushes it out for a corner, and the Cop end, Bramall Lane, just erupts. It was like we'd scored ourselves. It was a fantastic moment, and it was a really sort of galvanising effect it seemed to have on the team and on the fans. The pattern of the game didn't change. Sunderland was still probably the dominant force, but there was a lot of belief coming through that United team, and we did start to try and press them higher. We were trying to ask them problems, cause them issues that they didn't know how to answer, and we finally got a breakthrough. United win the ball high. We get it early. We get a quick transition. Hamer, first time through for Tyrese Campbell. We've seen them link up doing that so much in this last week, and it causes all the problems for the opposition defence. This time, rather than taking it forward and having a shot, Campbell cuts back, and their lad just cleans him out. Absolutely cleans him out. It's a foul. He's the last man. It's got to be a red card. For me, the penalty was the right decision. The red card is also the right decision. Apologies, everybody. As I say, I've not been well. But for the first time in probably 40 minutes, I actually believe United had a real chance to kick on and win this game now. We've got a free kick in a fantastic position. They're down to 10 men. We are now going to be the dominant force. We are now going to impose our game onto Sunderland. We're going to force them backwards. We're going to pen them. Oh, wait a minute. What? What's Harry Suter done? It was stupid. It was reckless. It was another one where it's the right decision and he has to send him off. We've got the ball forward. We are starting to settle into that rhythm of us pushing them back. But Campbell takes too long on the ball. It's blocked, breaks to their striker, who does a lovely spin to get past Suter, and he just pulls him down. And it's stupid in that situation when we've got 11 on 10. There was cover defenders who would have been able to get back and get across. We got Michael Cooper in net, who just never lets anything in. And yeah, I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was a really bad decision that he'd made there, and that saw it evened up. The ref couldn't wait to even it up, but again, I think it was the right decision. I think all three of those big decisions were the right ones. I think Sunderland should have been down to 10, we should have been down to 10, and from my angle, it was a penalty. And yeah, so we're going at half-time, having squandered this fantastic position of playing against 10 men, having let it go back to being 10 against 10, and it felt as though we'd blown our chance. As I say, I thought Sunderland were the much better team in that first half, and I felt as though everything was going for them. Our passing was off. We weren't able to find a man. Even when we did have that minuscule bit of space that they allowed us, we then couldn't find another red and white shirt. So we were really struggling to impose ourselves on this game. They were winning all of the 50-50s. The loose balls were bouncing and their players were picking him up. And a lot of people would say that's bad luck. I heard it being cursed around me. Every ball bounces to them, doesn't it? But that's fitness, that's energy, that's commitment. And I thought first half they had all of that and they looked really good going forwards. But United made a change at half-time. Off comes Callum O'Hare. on comes Femi Seriki. It's to cover the red card. It means that we can go back into our back four, but it was a really good change. It was the right decision, and it gave United a lot of extra impetus. I talked at the start about how much I loved Seriki's performance today, the way that he drove us forward, and that sub really did mean that we had a different structure to this second half. Rather than Sunderland penning us in and us struggling to find our options, we always had an option down the right. Seriki was able to commit his man. He was able to often get down around the outside. His final ball was lacking. He wasn't really linking properly with Raksake. There were a few moments where the pass was just a second delayed or just behind him, and it was minuscule not coming off. But it meant that we were actually able to get a foothold in the game. They were then penned in. They were struggling a little bit to get out. They still looked a little bit dangerous in transition, but I don't remember them having a shot of any meaning in the second half. We controlled them and kept them at arm's length. Our defence stood up to every challenge that came forward. They were colossal in that second half. There were so many corners thrown in against us. There were so many half moments when you thought they could break, but they couldn't because our defence was so strong. And then you thought, right, we've proven we've got this defensively. Can we get forward? Can we create a chance? And United did have a flurry of chances around the 70th minute. We forced 3 saves out of Patterson. One of them, a shot from distance from Souza. And let's be honest, he made a fancy save for the cameras. The second one, Seriki's in behind the defence, and it's a fantastic chance, but his finish isn't quite there. And it's a relatively straightforward save with his legs. The third one, a weak header from Campbell, just from the middle of the box, can't get any power on it. And again, another comfortable save. But they were the first chances of any note in the second half, and they'd come for United. And that's so different to what we'd seen in the first half. And I think it scared them. We then started making our subs, and where you'd think our subs would make us weaker, they seemed a bit fraught. They seemed as though they weren't quite sure what the changes meant for United. And we did punish them for it. And it was just a special, special moment. Tom Davies. And I mean, let's talk through the goal and then let's just talk through that moment, because it all starts with a very quick break from United. Cooper gets the ball, releases it fast for the first time all night, and Vinny Souza just charges down the right wing. And all the way down, I'm thinking, pass it. Pick your pass, Harmer's free on the left. Vinny, pick your pass, Harmer's free on the left. And in the end, he plays a really weak pass, but it was a gut-busting run. It drove us from one end of the pitch to the other, and he just won a throw-in really deep in the Sunderland area. And you thought, actually, we needed that. We needed a bit of pace, a bit of something just to drive us out. We just had a little bit of defending to do. And it was fantastic to see him still able to make that run in the 82nd minute when his hamstring had gone in about the 3rd minute. It was great to see him being able to drive us forward like that. From the throw-in, felt like we'd overplayed it. We've got a ball into Peck. He loses out. He gets crowded out by their defence. But then comes Tom Davies. And what I referenced before, all of that commitment, that fight, that desire, he wanted to score this goal. And he wins the first tackle, knocks it past the defender, slides in to make sure he's got the angle and fires it across goal. The keeper's probably got to save it, go straight through him. But I could not care less because it's a fantastic finish. It's a great goal. And it is a huge, huge moment because Tom Davies has been through so much. He's been through so much off the pitch for years and years before he joined United. He's been struggling with injuries. He's been struggling with pain. We know that he's had some mental health issues as well that he's been really open about in interviews in the last few weeks. And he's just got back to fitness, and he needed something to say, yes, I am back and I am ready to commit and play for Sheffield United. And this was that moment. And the look on his face, the joy, the celebration, the way that the other players bought into it with him, and everybody was there in front of the Kop, just giving him that adulation, giving him that moment. It was special and it was amazing. And it was amazing for him just as much as it was amazing for us, because that gives us a 1-0 lead with 10 minutes to go in a huge top of the table game against a massive promotion contender. And they never looked like coming back. We saw that game out with just perfect game control. Some people would call it outhousing. We'll call it outhousing. But it's just fantastic the way that we controlled it. We took the ball in the corner when we needed to. We frustrated them. Sam McCallum comes on just to win headers because apparently he leaps like nobody I've ever seen before to win headers. And it was just brilliant to see the way that we kept them at arm's length and said, no, now it's 1-0. You've got no chance. This game is over. We've got this one. And we locked it down. We won it. And it was massive. This is the kind of game that is a promotion winner, because we've played against a team where we weren't at our best, where they were good, they were exciting, they got energy, and we have just said, no, we are better than you. We will win this game of football by any way we can, and we have done that tonight. And I just think that is something that makes all of the difference. When we reflect on this season in May, when we look back on this, there's the moment where Cooper saves that penalty. There's the moment when Davies fires that one home. And there's the feeling of how good this victory is, because it's massive and it means so, so much. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the ref, because pre-game I said his last 2 games he's given penalties. He loves giving out a penalty. He's given up, I think it was something like 5 bookings a game that he gives out. He gives up loads compared to the other refs. It's all come home to roost tonight. He gave a penalty, he gave loads of bookings, he's given 2 red cards. But as I said at the start, and I think this might make me a little bit unpopular, it certainly would have made me unpopular if I dared to say it in Bramall Lane. But I didn't think he did all wrong. I thought it was an impossible game to ref. I thought it was absolutely impossible to try and ref this game of football, because there was so much happening. There were big decisions that had to be made, and I thought he got them right. I thought that he made the right decisions, particularly in the first half. Second half, there were some silly mistakes he made where he was missing odd moments, but there was nothing meaningful to what happened in the game. I thought overall he controlled it pretty well against a really, really difficult ask. And I don't give refs much credit, but apparently I've decided to stick my neck out tonight. But that might just be I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling it. I'm happy. We've won. Well done, ref. Sue me. I'll come to some of your comments now, and we'll see what everybody else thought. We'll start with Ian, who kind of agrees with me. The referee got all the big decisions right in the first half, not so much in the second. I think in the second, the game did get a little bit away from him. I think he struggled a little bit with those nitty-gritty fouls that were coming, where he wasn't sure whether to blow, whether to let the game run. But overall, like I say, I did think he did a decent job. Let's look at Gaza, a cracking game of football. That's why I prefer the Championship to the Premier League. I completely agree. Because can you imagine how long we would have had to play? We'd have had 94 minutes of added time, because there'd have been a VAR check on the penalty. Was it in the box? Was it out the box? Did he get the ball? Was it a foul? Should you send him off? Okay, well, it was the right decision. Thanks for wasting 10 minutes of my time. Then they'd have had the sending off and we'd have done the same again, another 10 minutes. Then we'd have scored a goal in the 90th minute, and rather than celebrating, we'd be going, but was there a foul? Could Peck have been offside? No, I don't want any of that. This is what football's about. That was a fantastic game, an exciting game. The Championship is so much better than the Premier League. It is a shame that the reward for being great in the Championship is the punishment of having to play in the Premier League, because nights like tonight is why the EFL is just so much more fun. It's so much better to be in the Championship. And I just really enjoyed myself tonight. And that's why, because we didn't have to worry about VAR. We didn't have to worry about all the big clubs and what they might do to us next week. We just got to enjoy a great game of football. Joe agrees, just had absolutely everything. Even the Leeds fans are getting involved. They thought it was a fantastic game of football. Alessandro, a throwback to 1920 season. And I agree. It felt like Wilder. It felt like United. I don't know about everybody else. And it's probably the reason I'm as excited as I am. And I apologise to everybody if I've got carried away. But it felt like United again. With COVID and everything else. And it's never properly felt like we ever got back to what 1920 was, when we were watching United. And it was Wilder and it was fun and it was exciting. And this is as close as it's felt to that for me for a long time. I loved it. And it felt just like we were back on that journey again, with a special team, a special connection, and Bramall Lane absolutely loving it. I just thought that was fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah, I loved it. I'm just really excited. And I think I'm just getting myself carried away. And as you can tell, my voice is going. So I'm really sorry. I'm not going to go through any more sort of comments tonight. I'm going to try and call it, but we are going to finish on a fantastic, happy, celebratory moment. And I'm going to pick out, there's hundreds of comments I could choose. I'm just going to choose the latest one. Love Tom Davies. Great trademark desire from him to score the goal. A proper player. Let's finish by just focusing on that. Let's focus on Tom Davies, because he's been through, I said it before, but we've got to repeat it. Everything he's been through off the pitch, injuries, everything else, it's all worth it for him for that moment tonight, because you saw the joy on his face. You saw at full time Wilder push him to the Kop and let him just take all of that love and adoration from all of the fans who know what it means to be him, who know that he's been through it and want to give that love back to him so that he can enjoy his time playing football for United again. That's a connection with a player that we want that we want to be special. We want to make him feel loved, to feel part of it at Bramall Lane. And those moments are what make football worth it. It was a moment for Sheffield United Football Club, but it was a moment for Tom Davies. And I'm so happy that he got to experience it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me on this long, rambly, excitable stream this evening. I have really, really enjoyed myself at Bramall Lane. I loved that win. We are top of the league after a massive victory, after just a madness game of football. Excitement, entertainment, and nothing more that we could ask for. It was brilliant. Thank you so much for watching with me. Up the Blades, and let's have more of this. Just more of it, more of it, more of it. Come on.
Ollie, Ollie.